Hi guys, welcome back to Dev Astrology. Today we are doing the June monthly reading and I am going to get started with the important dates, key dates that are going to come into play. These dates are crucial for us to understand the shift of the planets from one house to the other. So let's deep dive and look into it. As you can see on the screen here, you have Sun in the sign of Taurus until the first half of this month. And from June 15th, he will be moving into the sign of Gemini. Then Mercury is making multiple house shifts during the course of this month. He's starting with Taurus, then from June 6th onwards, he's moving into the sign of Gemini in his own house and its own sign, and then he will be moving into the sign of Cancer from June 22nd. You have Venus, which is going to be staying in the sign of Aries for almost the entire duration of the month, barring the last 2 days when he is going to come into his own sign of Taurus from June 29th. Mars has been in debilitation in the sign of Cancer. You can see the smile on my face, and it is coming out into the sign of Leo, where he will get conjunct with Ketu, and we'll talk about that in a bit from June 6th onwards. Then you have Jupiter, which is, and this is wrongly represented, but Jupiter is already into the sign of Gemini and it's coming into Akshatra from June 13th. Now, Saturn is in Pisces in Uttara Nakshatra. Rahu is in Purv Bhadra, which is that of Jupiter as well. Just to call out, Saturn is in its own nakshatra placement, so that is again interesting. And last but not the least, is in Uttara Nakshatra that ruled by Sun in a sign of Leo. So guys, let's deep dive now into the reading and understand what would be the impact of these planets through the course of the month.
So Cancers, as you can see in your chart here, you have your second house, the conjunction of Mars and Ketu. Sorry for the delay in recording this video because I'm traveling, but as you can already see at the time of this recording, as well as when you will be able to see, Mars has already shifted into your second house itself, where he is in conjunction with Ketu and forming that Angarak Yoga. Bang opposite to it, 180 degrees, is sitting Rahu. Now we've done a detailed video on the Rahu Ketu transit, guys, which we shot last month itself. If you've not had a chance, please go ahead and watch that. But Mars placement in the second house is going to become extremely crucial as well as tricky for you. You have to understand that Mars is carrying that heat, that fiery energy in itself. And coming into your second house, where you see your bank balances, you see your family, the kind of food you are consuming, all of these elements are going to get impacted. Now, I can sense that many of you would be watching this video in anticipation that, Dave, what the heck is going to happen with the combination of Ketu and Mars in my second house? It is going to be extremely detrimental for my family. Well, you are watching Dev Astrology, so you have to strategize and learn to rule your planets, guys. Yes, it can be a tricky situation with the placement of these two energies in your second house. There could be a lot of disruption. There could be a lot of changes. There could be some kind of a negative energy that could come in terms of your familiar environment, in your familial situations. But you have to understand that Mars is the Karaka of energy. He is the lord of your 10th house, coming into your second, forming a Dhan Yoga as well. And Ketu, when I recorded the Ketu Rahu video, I talked about how Ketu tries to detach you from all those areas. And Mars is also a representation of your 5th house into your second. It's a very good movement of Mars, Cancerians, for you into the second house if you see transit of Mars alone in isolation. See, first and foremost, he is going to bring an exuberant amount of energy in you, achieve whatever you want to. Maybe you will seek help of your family members as well. Maybe you will collaborate in the family business. Maybe you will have to get some kind of financial leverage. But You will be able to reap the rewards and add to the growth of your financial wellness through this Mars transit. Ketu tries to liberate you. He tries to detach you from those connections, from those aspects of the second. So there is going to be this tussle for you guys, Cancerians, that you are going to face with the presence of Mars in the second house. What you have to understand is, if you rub off your energy in a negative way, in a harsh manner with your family members, that is where you rule your planets, guys, then that can be detrimental in terms of your relationships, in terms of your emotions. But if you are bringing an excitement, if you are bringing that josh, if you are bringing that energy, you are going to rub it off in a way where your family sees the goals, the objectives, the targets that you're trying to achieve. And it could be in any way. If you're a homemaker, understand Mars represents kitchen. What if you are trying to cook something delicious, something full of spices? It might get obnoxious remarks from some of the family members who might find it too hot to eat. But at the same time, it could also mean that you are putting a lot of energy to cater to the needs of your family. You could be trying to create a positive environment. If you're a student watching this video, it will give you a fabulous chance to go into the confines within your house itself and focus towards your studies. Or wherever you are living, you might want to detach yourself, cut yourselves from all distractions coming into play. And that is where, as well, you will be able to use this combination of Mars and Ketu in a much efficient fashion. So, understand the kind of life, the kind of scenario you're coming from. If you're a working professional, if you're in a job, you're running your own business, guys, this is a fabulous Dhan Yoga. You are going to bring some creative thoughts whilst you are sitting at home but isolated from everybody else. You will be able to push through, cut through obstacles, and achieve your goals to enhance your financial situation. Mars placement into the second house can also be tricky if you are not keeping a watch on how you are articulating your words, how you are expressing your thoughts, how you are communicating in an informal fashion. Please be very, wise in terms of the choice of words that you bring, because that can make or break situations in the current situation. It will it will trigger some kind of arguments as well, and that is where I would want you to press some caution, folks. Then you have to also understand that it's a fifth movement of the 10th lord forming a Dhan Yoga, which means somewhere or the other, and also being the fifth lord, your creativity, your knowledge, your understanding, out of the box thinking to approach a particular obstacle, out of the box thinking in terms of creating a new dish, cooking something new, learning something new, delivering something new at work, initiating on a new project, and trying to bring that outside in approach to solve your problems is going to be rewarding. It's going to deliver positive results for you. If you're a parent watching this video, however, I would want you to again remember that please do not come too harsh or aggressive or commanding towards your kids. They might get intimidated with your expression. They might get go in a shell. Remember, there is also a possibility if your child is grown up, he is making good money, he is earning, they will also see an enhancement and a growth in their career, in their profession. This movement of Mars is going to depict that as well. Because Mars is not only the lord of your fifth house, he is also giving an aspect, a fourth aspect into your fifth house itself. And that is where I wanted to give you that sort of warning. You will have to also look into your matters of emotions, romance, love, and connection. And there could be situations for some of you Cancerians where there could be breakups, there could be separations, there could be argumentative situations that might come up. Please do not rush into any kind of decision making. If you feel that your relationship is going through a turmoil, take a step back, introspect into situations and see how you can articulate, express yourself better. Because once this Mars moves out, it is going to help you deliver positive outcomes from that avenue of life as well. This Mars is giving an aspect into your ninth house as well as your eighth house. Be watchful as to how you put your thoughts in front of your superiors, your manager at your workplace. avoid any kind of confrontations. That risk is going to be there. However, at the same time, you will be driven by gains. This is mine, this is not, yet I want that. That sort of a mindset would creep up. You are going to be hungry, you are going to be passionate, you are going to be driven when it comes to karma. We've done a detailed video on Ketu and Rahu. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. If, however, you guys want to deeply understand Mars and Ketu, I can try and put together a video on that front as well. Now, as we move ahead, what we see is that in your 12th house, you have the placement of Jupiter. Jupiter is the lord of your 9th house and your 6th house into the 12th. And again, we've done a detailed video on the Jupiter transit as well last month itself. If you've not had a chance, please go ahead and check that out. Nevertheless, it may not be a bad idea for you to revise some of the thoughts that I've placed there. But Jupiter's placement into your 12th is in conjunction with Mercury. Mercury, on the other hand, happens to be your 3rd lord as well as your 12th lord. 12th lord coming into the 12th house is not a bad situation. People who are working in professions such as hospitals, that require you to work in isolated places, in far locations, in international locations, all of you will see a lot of positive growth. There is going to be an expansion in your spiritual thought process. There will be a growth that will come into play from your expenses perspective as well. And mind you, when I say expenses, it is not in terms of losses. This could be your investment strategies too. Because at one side of this, spectrum, I'm talking about Mars forming this amazing Dhan Yoga, and then we are talking about expenses. So you have to understand, you will have enough financial gains, but also the acumen, especially in the first half of the month, to deliver right investment strategies. Why do I say in the first half of the month? Because Sun, which happens to be the lord of your 2nd house, is again forming a fabulous Dhan Yoga for you guys in your 11th. Second lord in the 11th, which means gains are promised. Mars is doubly emphasizing on that bit too. But in the second half, a shift of the sun will happen into your 12th house. And that is where expenses are definitely going to be on the rise. In the first half of the month, articulate, strategize, prepare, think as to what are the areas you would want to put or invest your money in. If you are able to do that cleverly, even if you have to, have some share of it to be spent, to be invested in the second half, I will be okay with it. Because in the second half, there will be a point in time when Jupiter will become combust with the presence of Sun. And when that happens, I would want you to avoid any kind of decision making. I would want you to take a step back, introspect, and see whatever you've planned before, is that making sense or not moving into the next few weeks. In the first half of the month, you will have Sun placed in the house of gains, which means that you will be putting your soul purpose into deriving that success, into gaining your objectives. You will get a lot of support from your friends, colleagues, from your social network as well. Network of all sorts are going to be positive. But once Sun moves into the 12th house in the second half of the month, it is going to be the right clever, investment strategies. You understand? Even in the 12th house, it's an 11th movement of the Sun. So it is not going to be a bad movement. It is going to be a gains with some expenses, with some investments. So if you're a business person, this is going to be an opportune month for you to strategize and plan for the future. You will have to pivot. If you are, working, doing something, in a job, employed somewhere, this is also going to be a period where you seek opportunities from far away, seek collaboration possibilities from projects, from your team members in other regions, in different cultural locations. If you're not even working in an MNC, try and identify opportunities where you can collaborate with people from outside the zone of what you are doing. It is going to be very fruitful for you. Now, Mercury, which is the 12th lord, is going to be majorly present there in the 12th house itself, but he is going to get directional strength when he comes into the Lagna in the last part of the month. Again, I like Mercury's movement and coming into the Lagna. The tricky part is he will be coming into the sign of Cancer. And thus, there could be some level of fear, self-doubt, suspect behavior that might come into you And you have to remember at this point in time that when Mercury is in your first house, he will be giving an aspect into your seventh as well. So please be watchful in terms of how you articulate your speech, your words, your thought process in any kind of partnership, be it marital relationship or external formal partnerships as well. As we move ahead, you will notice that your Venus is placed in the 10th house at this point in time. He is your lord of gains and your lord of fourth house into the 10th house placement. Now, this is an interesting placement. Those of you who would have watched my video on Venus in all houses, you will be able to very quickly relate to the fact that Venus coming into the 10th house, being the lord of gains, is going to bring that high drive, that attainment mindset at your workplace. Yet, being the lord of your fourth sitting in your 10th house, you are trying to do every bit of it with empathy, with kindness, with some level of subtleness. This Venus is also giving an aspect back into the fourth house. So you are going to be cooking in those efforts, that extra amount of energy into building your own empire as well. Some sort of wealth creation, some sort of gains, some sort of purchase of movable, immovable property is definitely on the cards. Cancerians, I would not be surprised if you guys go ahead and purchase some automobile, some luxurious asset at this point in time. You see a lot of Dhan Yoga coming into play, and then the expense mindset also getting triggered from the 12th house with Venus's aspect in the fourth is all culminating into that direction. So I would actually want you to plan and strategize whatever expenses, whatever purchases, buyout that you have to do, push it to the last part of the month, strategize it about it as early as possible in June, and you will find yourself in a good footing. It is going to be again, a period where whatever kind of work you want to do, it will come in your direction. You want to switch roles, you want to do something at your home, something transformative, some kind of an action from that front. You will be successful. You will be able to embark on that journey. Venus at the fag end of this month will be then transiting into your 11th house itself. And that is going to be a beautiful movement. 11th Lord into the 11th house. Again, all of it culminating in the right direction. Cancerians, if you remember, if you watched my transit video of Saturn, transit video of Jupiter, or Rahu and Ketu for that matter, there was a lot of fear involved in it. But you see how beautifully things are evolving with just one transit of Mars, and there's a drastic shift. There were so many fearful comments that were there for Cancerians, but that shift is coming into play. And that is what astrology is, guys. Because when multiple planets come and form certain yogas, they start to function in collaboration. And that is where you see the outcomes transforming for you. Last but not the least, as I alluded earlier to the Saturn video as well, Saturn is placed in your ninth house. He is the lord of your seventh and your eighth into the ninth. We have done a detailed video there as well. This position of Saturn is positive, albeit there is just one caution that I want to bring, that whatever gains, whatever targets, objectives, goals that you are chasing, you will have to be patient towards them materializing for you, because it is not going to be a smooth access. Saturn has to bring some sort of obstacles because he is just testing that Cancerian, are you worth it or not? So whenever you get stuck, whenever you feel that your chips are down in the month of June, revisit this and tell yourself that you have to fight these situations, you have to overcome these scenarios. I think all in all, it is a beautiful month in terms of your material gains, in terms of your success coming in from your karma, from your job perspective, from your career side, from business partnerships. The watchful element would be on your health side, because your sixth lord is forming a Viparit Raj Yoga into the 12th. He is giving an aspect back, but there are too many placements into the 12th house as well. Thereby, proactively investing your time, effort, and energy towards a spiritual direction, or maybe making some kind of donation, charitable activities are going to help you sail through it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching. Om Namah Shivaya.